What if the one decision that quietly rewrites your entire life isn't the speech you craft, the promise you make, or the clever line you deliver, but the steel you carry in your spine? Respect isn't granted because you asked nicely or negotiated harder. It radiates from standards you refuse to compromise. Here's the uncomfortable edge most men learn too late. People, and yes, women, rarely respect your words. They respect your boundaries. They respect your backbone. They respect what you boldly refuse far more than what you eagerly accept. Men don't lose the woman they love when affection fades. They lose her when their standards thin. It happens in 1,000 tiny surrenders, the jokes you let slide, the silence you offer when your values are mocked, the late messages you always answer, the plans you keep breaking to please someone who stopped earning your time. That ends today. On Stoicism Drive, you're getting 5 boundaries that will recalibrate how she, and the world, look at you. These aren't about controlling anyone else. They're about mastering yourself so clearly that everything and everyone must adjust to your frame. If you're ready to live like this from this moment on, drop a comment. I choose respect. 1. Never reward disrespect. Swallow this whole, without sugar. The day you accept disrespect is the day you become replaceable in her mind. Shared history won't save you. Poetry won't save you. The instant she senses you'll tolerate being belittled, ignored, or subtly mocked, while you keep showing up loyal as your dignity erodes, something critical shifts. You stop being the man she earns and become the man she uses. Yes, that's painful, but pain is where your power begins. No one truly respects the man who continues to appear after his standards are violated. She may keep him for convenience, familiarity, or comfort, but watch her eyes. Listen to her tone. Notice how she speaks when there's nothing to gain. Respect doesn't live in compliments. It lives in the consistency of how she treats you when applause isn't required. Every time you reward disrespect, staying silent after a jab, apologizing for what she did, reappearing after she ghosted, you broadcast a single message. My worth depends on your attention. Desire dies exactly there. Tests aren't cruelty, they're calibration. A man without boundaries isn't a safe harbor, he's a soft cushion, walked on, not walked with. When you cave on your values, she doesn't feel loved, she feels unsafe. If you can't defend your own dignity, how could you defend a relationship? Reverse it with consequence, not chaos. Be the man who never shouts, never begs, never over-explains, and never tolerates disrespect. Not once. Recognize it in every shape, not just yelling or name-calling, but constant interruptions, mocking your goals, mentioning an ex to bait you, active messaging with other men then labeling you insecure, or using silence as a weapon instead of speaking like an adult. Correct it once, calm, direct, emotionless. Don't speak to me that way again. If it happens again, I'm done. No debates, no courtroom. If it repeats, you leave. She will either level up or exit, and if she exits, good. Parasites don't belong in a king's orbit. This goes far beyond dating. Your boss, friends, and family are measuring you the same way. Men with no standards burn out. Men with standards get focused. You set the table. When disrespect is served, you stand up, every time. If someone wants back in, access is earned by consistent behavior, not convenient apologies. Wondering how to stay strong when you're attached? Here's the mirror. If you're addicted to her attention, you haven't built anything in your life worth being addicted to. Redirect obsession into creation. Train your body. Organize your money. Launch the project. Learn the skill. Replace dopamine scrolling with deliberate building. Choose discomfort on purpose. Early mornings, cold showers, zero compromise routines. Keep your space clean. Keep your promises cleaner. When you stop tolerating disrespect from others, you stop tolerating mediocrity in yourself. That's when you stop needing respect and start commanding it. 2. Guard your peace. Peace doesn't stumble into your life. You defend it like oxygen, because without it, everything suffocates. The man who lacks peace wakes reactive, scattered, and easily steered by anyone with a strong opinion. That isn't living. That's performing for an audience that wouldn't notice if you collapsed tomorrow. Peace is the power state where choices become intentional. You don't leap at insults, audition for doubters, or chase validation that taxes your soul. Most men leak peace. Instant replies to low-value texts. Arguments with anyone who invites conflict. Yeses given out of guilt. Late-night attention to people who wouldn't respect them at noon. Each leak hollows the man until only a mask remains. Women feel scattered attention the way a seismograph feels tremors. When your time isn't sacred, she senses she's steering the ship. No woman respects the man who must be led. Guarding peace means becoming unavailable to chaos by design. Audit the inputs, your phone, habits, schedule, rooms you enter, and ask, does this protect or poison my peace? If it poisons, it goes. No speeches, no drama, just standards. You won't chase, because chasing steals presence. You won't scroll endlessly, because you're building. You won't sleep in, because your life is urgent. Access to you becomes sacred. You say no without footnotes. You leave texts unanswered from the people who never gave you calm. You skip rooms where gossip is currency. Let them call you cold while they talk. You build. Rise early. Those quiet hours are a fortress. Read to remember how small your problems are. Walk alone and learn that solitude is sovereignty, not loneliness. Train for discipline, not display. Keep your space ordered because chaos can't live where order breathes. The man who owns his mind owns his world. That's the gravity women can't name. Employers trust, friends respect, and other men recognize with a quiet nod, he's different. When a woman creates emotional noise, she isn't always trying to destroy you, she's finding your edges. If every poke makes you jump, there is no core. Sit back, hold silence longer than her confusion. Respond on your timing. She either adapts to your frequency or exits, and both outcomes serve your peace. 3. Don't overshare. Practice strategic vulnerability. She doesn't want to know every thought that passes through your head. Even if she says she does. What she actually craves is depth, not constant exposure. She wants to feel your mystery, not drown in your diary. The moment you open every emotional door, every insecurity, every wound, every anxious overthought dream, you stop being her partner. You become her project, and no woman falls in love with a project. Men are told, open up more, be vulnerable, express everything. But how did that work for you? Did she pull you closer when you unloaded your fears? Or did something shift quietly in her eyes? The moment she stopped seeing you as her protector and started seeing you as her emotional twin. That shift is fatal, because when you make her carry your emotional weight, she might comfort you for a while, but she no longer craves you. There must be sacred distance, not dishonesty, not coldness, but polarity. It's the invisible space between who she believes you are and what she's still discovering. That mystery keeps the spark alive. Kill the mystery, kill the tension, and you kill desire itself. A respected man feels deeply but carries it with discipline. He doesn't let pain become someone else's burden. He doesn't wield his story for sympathy. He holds his emotions the way a warrior holds his sword, with mastery, not fragility. When you reveal everything too soon, you flood her with confusion. She doesn't know what to do with all that emotion. Instead of feeling close, she feels overwhelmed. Instead of admiring your openness, she starts doubting your stability. Not because she's heartless, but because deep inside, she longs to lean on you, not become your therapist. Look at the most respected men you know. They rarely overshare. They offer presence, not paragraphs. They reveal glimpses, not full blueprints. They don't chase connection through confession. They build it through action. Treat your story like a treasure chest, not a brochure. Let her earn access over time. Let her wonder what drives you. Let her feel the silence and move closer to fill it. You're not hiding. You're cultivating intrigue. You're building the tension that fuels attraction long after the honeymoon fades. When you speak, do it with purpose. Share only when it serves the mission, not when you're craving comfort. Be open, but never uncontrolled. That's emotional mastery, measured honesty. Vulnerability that strengthens instead of weakens. Stop trying to be endlessly relatable. You're not here to blend in. You're here to stand apart. The world doesn't respect what it understands too easily. You build magnetism by holding your ground even when she disagrees. Your mission isn't a group project. Your vision isn't open for edits. Journal before you vent, lift before you spiral, act before you overshare. Build a fortress around your emotions so only the worthy can enter. And when they do, you don't drown them in emotion. You invite them to witness your resilience. You open slowly, like sunrise after a long night, intentional, calm, earned. That's what makes you unforgettable, not because you dumped your emotions, but because you carried them with grace. That's when attraction deepens beyond desire, it turns into reverence. 4. Control emotional reactivity, master calm power. Control isn't about feeling nothing, it's about mastering what you feel. The modern world rewards outrage, panic, quick reactions. Weak men fall for that trap every time. The strong man, he becomes still. When the storm hits, she withdraws. Her tone shifts. Sarcasm cuts deep. You don't crumble. You don't chase explanations. You breathe. You hold frame. Because emotional reactivity is the death of masculine power. It's when your inner world dances to someone else's tune. The calm man isn't cold, he's sovereign. He can feel pain without becoming it. He can stand in the fire and keep his breath steady. Women test this not to hurt you, but to see if your strength is real. When you pass, she doesn't just calm down, she melts. But you can't fake calm. You must become it. That begins by confronting your triggers, the little flinches inside when you sense rejection. The anxiety when someone pulls away. The rush to explain when someone questions your motives. Face them, look them in the eye and whisper, "You don't lead anymore." In that space between emotion and response, kings are born. You stop reacting. You start choosing. You stop defending your character to people not qualified to judge it. You start living like your attention is gold, rare, precious, never wasted. Provokers lose interest because they can't shake you anymore. Respectful people start orbiting closer because calm attracts clarity. And clarity repels chaos. You'll talk less, observe more, and radiate something few men ever master: self-command. When someone betrays you, you won't retaliate, you'll disappear like oxygen from fire. When rumors spread, you won't defend yourself, truth doesn't panic. When she ghosts or tests you, you won't chase, you'll rise silently, focused, unstoppable. Every man must reach this point, where emotions no longer drag him like a puppet. Where feelings become signals, not orders. Because when you own your calm, you own your kingdom, and from that stillness, everything else, respect, attraction, success, flows naturally. 5. Always be willing to walk away. Most men stay far too long, in jobs that drain their souls, friendships that mock their growth, relationships that erode their strength. They stay out of fear, fear of loneliness, fear of failure, fear of being judged. So they shrink, they smile, they say, "It's fine," while their spirit dies quietly inside. But the man who is willing to walk away from anything that insults his soul, that man is dangerous in the best possible way. That man is magnetic, because he doesn't stay for comfort, he stays for alignment. And women feel it. They know when you're staying out of addiction versus integrity. The first kind of man gets tested endlessly. The second, she brings her best self to him because she knows if she disrespects his standard, he'll leave, without drama, without warning, without apology. Walking away isn't cold, it's sacred self-loyalty. It means saying, "I love you, but I love my peace more. I love who I'm becoming more." That's not arrogance, that's spiritual clarity. You stop begging for crumbs, and start building tables worthy of kings. You purify your circle. You refine your energy. You remember, nothing worth keeping will ever demand the death of your dignity. People will either rise to meet your standard or remove themselves. That's the purpose. Your standard becomes your filter. Over time, only the strong remain, and your life becomes a mirror of your highest self, not your most fearful version. Be so secure that you can walk away from pleasure, comfort, validation, even love, if it comes at the cost of your mission. That's real danger, not to others, but to mediocrity, to dependency, to every force trying to cage you. And here's the paradox: the moment you let go, you rise. the strength, the clarity, the expansion, they arrive after the walk, not before it, because in that silence, you finally meet your truest version, the one who doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't tolerate disrespect again. The second you choose self-respect over comfort, your real life begins. The man you were dissolves. The man you were meant to be stands up, quietly, powerfully, undeniable. Final message, the new era begins. You were never built to kneel for love, attention, or approval. You were built to walk in power, quietly, calmly, with a certainty that respect isn't demanded, it's designed. Every act of self-discipline, every no you hold firm, every storm you endure in silence, each one forges you into the man no one forgets. If something in your chest shifted while watching this, if a small voice whispered, "That's who I was meant to be," don't ignore it. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of your new era. Lock it in. Write it down. Live it daily. And if this message hit deep, like this video so it reaches more men who need it. Subscribe to Stoicism Drive for weekly frameworks on discipline, calm, and masculine clarity. Comment below. I choose respect over validation. Share this with a brother who's still searching for his boundaries. Because when you support this movement, you don't just grow a channel, you awaken an army of men rediscovering their worth. Your time is finite, your peace is sacred, your standards start now. And once you own them, you'll never trade them for chaos again.